forward. All right, so today we have a really special guest, Luther Harris. He's going to share with us. We actually met on the cruise. He is a senior gold. Him and his wife worked the business together. We met on the ship. We were just kind of like walking by, and then we just started a conversation. And then we realized he was one of the guest speakers on the cruise, which was so cool. I was like, oh my goodness. And he got to share on stage his story and tips or some of his story. And so I asked him if he would share on our team call, because I feel like we need more guys for sure sharing, because there are guys out there who have success with the products, with the business. And so I'm really, really excited, really honored that he is just gifting us with his time tonight to share his story, to share his top business tips. I think it's so cool how him and his wife work this together. And so Luther, take it away.
Hi guys. First of all, let me just start by saying it is my pleasure to be here. It is my honor to be here. Joanna, thank you for this opportunity. To just share a little bit about my story, about my life. With you guys, my son. Y'all hear my son? My wife is right here too. She can say hi.
Hi.
This is our strategy board behind us. So, Joanna wanted me to walk through just a few things. So I'll start with the beginning of my Plexus story. We got married in 2016. Our wedding photographer actually was the first person to introduce me to Plexus. And at that time, I was young and dumb, if I'm being honest. I was in the gym like 6 days a week. I thought I was really healthy. I was doing all of the things. I wasn't really eating bad, but like every now and then, like I go for it, right? Eat a whole pizza and things like that. Didn't bother me as much, but I had a history of gastrointestinal issues. Long history. Had a colonoscopy, endoscopy done at 20, 21 years old. Diagnosed me with GERD, whatever that is. Um, so so yeah, I took the products for like 2 weeks, y'all. 2 weeks, I lost like 3% body fat. I was feeling great. Body fat was the lowest it had ever been. Actually, I did it for a challenge at the gym. And so I got my challenge results, did really well. And then I was like, yeah, I don't need gut health. Like, I don't like, why would I need that? I'm young, I'm healthy, like I work out. I don't, and I looked healthy on the outside. So I didn't care about the inside. That's young me. Fast forward a few years later. That's probably me at 28. Fast forward to 31. Still working out, still doing all the things, trying to eat healthy, and it just wasn't working. Acid reflux was taking over. I would belch after every time I ate. And I mean, just like my food wasn't digesting, my food wasn't moving, my metabolism was slowing. I was feeling really bad all the time, pretty much. And so I walked in the gym to work a class one day, and my friend Natalie was like, I was complaining about my stomach and how I just couldn't get, I just felt like I couldn't get out of this rut that I was in. And she was like, have you ever tried Plexus? And I was like, Plexus, that sounds familiar. She was like, yeah, it's like pink drink. I was like, oh, I did that a few years ago. And she was like, yeah, it sounds like you need to try that again. And I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. And so ordered products that day, because I just was tired of being sick and tired. And I, within a week, saw results. I mean, acid reflux was going away. I wasn't belching like I was, and within 2 weeks, completely went away. So I was in a better pattern. I was sleeping better. I had more energy. I mean, like those of you on this call who do triplex, I mean, you know how it is in that first few weeks. And so I'm feeling good. I have more energy. My wife is 8 months pregnant at this point, and she's like, okay, one, you are being really consistent with this, and you're not belching and grossing me out anymore, and you have more energy. And she was like, do you think it's safe for pregnant people? I was like, well, it's all natural. I can't see how it would hurt. And she's like, all right, well, let me get some. And I said, no, ma'am. I need mine. You got to get your own. So, um, probably looking back on, I probably shouldn't have told an 8 month, lady that was 8 month pregnant that, but it's fine. And so she started on the products. I did let her have some, but she started on the products. She ordered products, and she saw immediate results. She was towards the end of her pregnancy, so acid reflux, baby sitting, doing all the things. Every time the baby moves, something comes up. All of that resolved for her. And then we had a scheduled C-section. This is when we both of us were like, okay, this is like for real. Scheduled C-section, y'all know after this whole C-section thing, there's a couple benchmarks that you got to hit, to make sure they put everything back right. So we're probably 3 or 4 hours out of surgery. She's getting uncomfortable, feeling gassy and bloated. I was like, why don't you take your triplex? I brought it to the hospital with me. That's how dedicated I was to it. So why don't you check your triplex? She was like, for real? You think so? I was like, yeah, do it. And so she did. And within an hour and a half, things were moving. You know what I'm saying? And cool part was our son, with babies, they're like, well, they need to have this many poopy diapers and they need to pee this many times. Our son was like a pooping machine at the hospital, like 4 dirty diapers the first day, 4 the next day. They were like, what is up with this baby? We're like, it's that triplex, isn't it? And so yeah, and since then we just haven't stopped. Our kids take the products. We started our daughter had a bout with chronic strep for like 3 months, and our chiropractor who's also a holistic naturopathic like nutritionist was like, that's good. And we were like, for real? He was like, yeah. And we were like, all right, we got something for that. And so we started giving her probio and the kids microbiome. Done, no more strep. Which has been awesome. Because they were like, oh, she might be a strep carrier. We're like, yeah, we're gonna rebuke that. That's not a thing. And so since then, I mean, my whole family has been on it. My dad takes the products now. My sister takes the products now. My brother gave it a try, wants to get back on it for his wife, he and his wife. My mom takes the products, has been helping with her thyroid. My dad has had high blood pressure pretty much his entire adulthood. Went to the doctor shortly after starting triplex. No high blood pressure. Came off his diabetes meds within a couple months. Hey, love. Okay, you can say hi, but you have to go. You can say hey. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, daddy's talking. Sorry. Love you. Here, take your blanket. Same for my sister. My sister, her A1C had gotten into nine, I think 9.8 or something like that. It is now down in low sixes. She's getting ready to come off of hers. I had a buddy, David, who came to me. He's like, man, I got to do something. My doctor says I'm pre-diabetic. My A1C is out of control. I need to lose 20 pounds. And so within a year, he lost 20 pounds. We got him down 20 pounds and off of his diabetes meds. And he is a Plexus fanatic. So just my family history is really bad. Diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I mean, you name it, it's in my family. And so I asked the question on Facebook, why do we wait until we're unhealthy to decide that we want to be healthy? Why not be preventative? And that's the route that we take now. We take a holistic approach to life. Plexus is a big part of that. Plexus is the main part of that, actually. And these products have blessed us in so many ways, and not just us, but the people around us. And so it's helped on the health side, but it's also helped financially. A couple years ago, I was a full-time teacher. My wife was a full-time teacher. I was a band director, which meant I spent every Friday night away from my family in the fall, and most afternoons away from my family in the fall. And when we had my daughter, who you just saw, I was standing on the field one night in the cold, wet, with my arms folded, feet soaking wet, thinking about my wife and my daughter being at home, right? And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Why am I out here? right? I have a wife at home who wants to be with me. I have a baby girl at home who wants to be with me. Like, I want to be with them. I think it's time to make a change. And so made the decision to make a change. We thought that we could. I had another job lined up shortly thereafter. The Lord worked that out. Thank God. Um, he opened up another door for me to have an opportunity to get out. That opportunity also allowed my wife to stay home part-time. And so she doesn't work a full-time job right now. But things are tight, right? When we did our budget, I'm transparent. I'm an open book. So Joanna, if this is too much, I'm sorry. When we did our budget back in 2020, we were like $4,500 will get us through the month. Like, that'll be fine, right? Not in 2023. It's not fine, right? So that, you know, it things really started to stretch. And so we were looking, my wife and I have always wanted to do something together, because we want to be present for our kids. And so we started looking. We actually started with like another MLM, like right before Plexus like became a thing, and we were heading in that direction, and then it was like, halt, Plexus. Um, and so we started, baby, sweetheart, you cannot do this right now. I need you to go find mommy. Okay. I know, go watch Ratatouille.
We all have babies, so it
I
doesn't
know.
bother us at all.
Okay, well, you can play back here, but I need you to be quiet. Okay, love you. All right. So sorry guys. Um yeah, lost my train of thought. Where was I in that story?
You were going to do the other MLM, then it came to a
Oh, no,
halt.
thank you. We halted that, started Plexus, and that was the best decision we've ever made. And there are quiet blessings that we found in Plexus, like I said, both in health and finances that we didn't expect. We started with the idea, just sign 3 people a month. Just sign 3 people a month. And then they were like, you can get bonuses for going fast start. And so we went fast start gold, had 0 retention strategy. So went fast start gold really quickly and then lost that. And then we were like, okay, we're doing something different. And I'll tell y'all what the difference was. I'm gonna speak about me. I saw the opportunity and saw dollar signs instead of seeing people. That was a mistake. If you're early in your journey with Plexus, focus on the people that will pay dividends in the long run, even if it's slower than you want it to be. Okay. It is people over products, it's people over everything. Okay. People over paychecks. Let's go with that for another alliteration, right? And so my wife and I decided, we were like, okay, we have to figure out how to do the people thing. And I'm a people person, like I'm a people guy, but we weren't plugged into any team calls. I didn't know what a team call was. I wasn't posting on Facebook. Like I wasn't doing any of the things, right? Like I was just sharing Plexus with people. Fast forward to convention. Whew, if you haven't been to convention, go to convention. Okay. Convention is where I caught the vision. Convention is what really like sparked the flame for me, because I was seeing people who were like me that really loved loving people. And that's what you get here. You get people that love to love people. And so we so I left convention. I was like, babe, I think like we can do this. And she was like, I think you're right. And at that point we were gold, not really. We were goldish. We had gotten back. And so we're building and we're focusing on retention, and we're doing the little things. And I'll talk in a minute about our retention strategy. But we really start focusing on the people, and then the people started to come, right? And our mission is to share these products with people so that they can be a happier, healthier version of themselves and glorify God with that happier, healthier self. That is our goal. That is our mission. And so we ranked senior gold right before goal school. And so we had other goal school invitations that just didn't work out, and Austin just so happened to work out for us. And so we went to Austin Gold School, and man, talking like I had a little flame, and Gold School just like poured gasoline on it, right? And so then it blew up. And that's really when the training that Plexus offers, guys, the community that Plexus offers is second to none. And so buy into your team. Y'all have a fantastic leader and some fantastic people on this team that I've had the pleasure to meet and have had the pleasure to talk to. Lean into these people, guys. Lean into this community. And so, yeah, that is where we are now. We are senior goal and climbing. We are just now, we got to senior goal with no business builders up under us. So if you are a go-getter, go get it. Okay. Just know that it's people first, and they will fall into place. Even in your posts, focus on people first. Focus on creating anticipation for people so that they begin to ask themselves the same questions that you're asking. And so that leads me into my tips for building business. One, cast vision early. Okay, cast vision for people early. We all know people who are sick and tired of their situation, right? Even if you need to borrow belief from somebody else, borrow belief, but cast vision early. Okay, let people know, hey, once you get your products and you love your products, you have a referral link that you can share with people. You don't have to go through me, but if you have questions, you can use me as a resource. Put me in a 3-way chat, but you have a referral link. Use it, right? The other thing is your best friend is loving people well. That is your retention strategy, is loving people well. One of the things that we do with all of our people, they get a weekly check-in. How's it going? How are you pooping? I mean, like, that's a question, right? Like, it's Plexus, we talking poops here. Okay. How's it going? How are you feeling? How are you pooping? Are you still feeling bloated? And then depending on their answers, one of the things I love to do is adjust people's regimen so that they get comfortable, right? Love the products. And then as they continue, you just keep checking in and adjusting for them so they don't have to think about it. What you can't do is say, all right, cool, we'll jump right into this because this is the main thing that works for everybody and you'll be fine. Because when they're not, they'll fall off. And so touch people as much as you can, right? As much as you can. And make sure that you're helping them adjust. Make sure that they are aware of what's happening in their body. That is huge. When they hit that first detox, they're going to be like, what's happening? It's just detox, boo-boo. Calm down. It's okay. You're going to be fine. I need you to drink more water. Keep taking your products and push through. Okay. I typically write it down. Joanna asked the question, how do you keep track of when you keep in touch with them? We typically, like, I have people that I focus on, and then Joya keeps track of the masses. That's typically how we work. Okay. So people who are fine, they're doing well, they are, they're in their groove and they're just moving. Joya just touches those people as necessary. The people that we know we need to focus on, they're dealing with chronic constipation, or they're dealing with other things that maybe they're moving too much, maybe they're moving, like, I'm the one who gets with them and focuses on making sure that they are getting the services that they need. Be consistent and be persistent. Okay. Be consistent and be persistent. Right. People are looking for any reason to quit. All right. And so you have to be consistent in your casting belief for them, consistent in your touch points with them, and persistent in letting them know that you're going to be okay. This is what you need. I am here for you. Just be there. One of my favorite shows is New Girl. Um, and Winston was talking about, how you gonna win that girl over? I'm just gonna be there. Okay. That's how we have to be. Just be there for people. The other thing is meet people where they are. And I think that is one of the biggest things. I know I just said a lot about people, right? Because it truly is about that. But meet people where they are. One of the things I've had to learn to do is hush my mouth and listen. Okay. When you listen to people, they truly feel like you care about what's going on. All right. I'm a problem solver. I just want to dive in and fix. Right. And I think that's a lot of us. Like, I just want this to be good for you right now. But everybody doesn't respond well to that, And so what I've had to do is learn to say, okay, cool. How are you feeling today? All right. What are the things that makes that better or worse? Okay. What are some adjustments that we can make here? How much water are you drinking? Oh, I'm drinking blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, you need to drink more. And here's some of the things that I just can't drink more water. Well, why not? Oh, well, because it makes me pee. Well, that will only last for a little bit. But if you really want this to start moving, you have to drink more water. And as far as social media, same things. Be consistent, meet people where they are, share your life with people. Share your life. Some days my posts are plexus heavy. Most days my posts are about my wife and kids, especially on the weekends. Like, I want people to know, if you want to be healthy, right? Take care of your gut. Yes. But you're going to be healthier if you are spending time with people that you love, if you're focusing on your mental and emotional health. That is a part of this, right? I would not be where I am without my wife and without my kids. I wouldn't be who I am without my wife and without my kids. And so it will be dumb of me to neglect them to chase a dream when they are a part of the dream. They are the reason for the dream, right? And so your best friend is your retention strategy. Love people well, be consistent and persistent, and meet people where they are. Ask questions, create anticipation, and share your life with people. That's one of the most important things you can do. But I'm boring. I don't have it. No one's boring. Okay. No one's boring at all. Everyone is interesting. You know why? Because everyone has their own unique story to tell. Okay. I struggled with posting for over a year. I did not post for the entire first year of our business. Not one lick. Okay. And then when I started posting, people got quiet. And I tried to get in my head. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep posting. Because if you know me and I'm sharing my life with you, you know my heart. And all I desire to do is help people. And then help those people help people, if that's what they desire to do. And so, yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, wow. So, so good. Loved all of it. If you have a question, Luther has said he is open to do a quick Q&A. Thank you so much. I do have, so if y'all are think of a question, if you have it, like, now's your chance. I have a question though. So you said you went gold really quick, and then like retention was just not a thing, and you went back. What do you think? And maybe everything you already shared is your answer, and that's totally okay. But from like falling back to moving forward again, what do you think the biggest shift was in like your action, like things that you were doing each day? Was it just like the customer care you talked about, or like what do you feel like that made you hit gold again and keep growing?
So customer care was a big part of that, but intentionality was another big part of that, right? I'll just be honest. When the money started rolling in, that became my focus, right? And we were really excited because we were in a tight spot, and that those first like few like fast start bonuses hit, and I was like, woo, we killing it, right? Um, and I started being focused on the paycheck, and people sense that, right? No one wants to be a number to you. No one wants to be a number. No one wants to be a part of a number for you. They don't really like people want you to be successful. Yes, I believe people do want you to be successful, but they don't want you to be successful at their expense. You know what I'm saying? And so once they realize that you are in it for them, like that changes the game for people. And that's where you create business builders too. Is because you took the time to believe in them. You took the time to care for them. And so they see your action, and their reaction is to want to recreate your action. All right. They begin to want to share with people. We had a great conversation with a friend of ours today who she's never even shared her story with us. And we're on the phone and she's telling us this beautiful story about how Plexus has changed her life. And we're like, girl, just share that story. And she's like, well, I don't want to be pushy and I don't want to be this. And we're like, you're not being anything. You're telling people about a thing that has changed your life and your husband's life and your kids' life. You're sharing your life with them. What if there's someone out there who is struggling with the exact same thing that you are, and you're not sharing how you're finding relief? Right? So just share your story because it means something to somebody. And don't be shy about it. So I think the biggest change was that intentionality in, okay, if we're gonna do this, it has to be about the people. And that was our prayer. Lord, make this about the people. Our other prayer was, Lord, if we're ever doing this the wrong way, close doors. Right? Because we want this to be in line with what he wants for our lives. And when we took that approach, he began to open doors. And he began to send us people, and he began to, like, this community, y'all. The fact, like, I'm just gonna be straight up honest. One of the things, and we have a great church, and we have a great church family and a great, and a great community there. But as far as like outside of church, we've struggled with finding community. And I think that's a struggle for a lot of people. It's just finding people who are like-minded and want to love and encourage and lift up and all the things. And that was a added bonus and an added blessing of Plexus that was completely unexpected. But it has made all the difference in our mental, emotional, social health. It's made all the difference in our walk with our friend, even our like physical community here. Just knowing we have somewhere else to go where people want you to succeed and people want to love you and people want to wrap their arms around you and people want to be there for you. People want to encourage you. Um, and it's funny because like I'm a dude, and a lot of dudes, they're just like, oh, that's a lot of fruit stuff, right? But it's like, bro, like, let me tell you something. There is nothing like people pouring into you and showing you that they love you that'll make you go, man, I feel really good today because I got people around me that really care about me. Because you don't get that everywhere. I have worked in schools, I have worked in sales jobs, I have worked in corporate America now, and I don't get that in any of those places. I get that here, and it's worth a lot. It means a lot to me and a lot to my family. The way I've seen my wife grow, I could cry thinking about it. Just being wrapped up around a bunch of ladies who care to see her be the best version of herself. Like you can't buy that anywhere. Even if the paychecks stop, we'll be here for that. Um, because that's worth more than money can buy. So I know I rambled a little bit,
Oh,
but
that
I'm
was
sorry.
so good. So, so good. I love that. Also, I have a question too while you're chatting about, or not chat, while you're talking about, you said you were on the phone with her and she was sharing her story. Do you get on the phone with every new customer? Like, talk to me about the phone. Like, is that something you use a lot with your business? Have you seen how it helps?
You can't replace the phone. Um, you just, and I know like a lot of people are like, my wife was one of those people when we first met. She's on the phone with somebody right now, actually on the phone. But it, when people need to hear your passion. If you can't get on the phone with them, send them a voice clip. They cannot hear your passion through a text message. They can see it based on what you post, right? Which is why your posts have to create anticipation so that when you reach out, they understand how passionate you are and why you're passionate, which is why you have to share your story. But there is nothing that can replace a phone call. I have always been a phone person. My wife, when we started dating, when we started talking, I was like, hey, can I call you? She was like, call me. I was like, yeah. She was like, can't you just text? I'm like, no, it's not the same. I need to hear your voice. I need to know that you're interested. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to know that we are in this, like we are on the same page. And she thought it was weird for a long time. And now she just understands, like I call my friends, even if they don't pick up the phone, I call my friends because you just can't. And they'll say, hey man, did you mean to call me? Yes, you know I did. I don't know, like I'm not dialing you by mistake. Like your number's not at the top of my call list. I intentionally called you, bro. But you can't replace that. Yes, I am, Katie. 100% I'm an old soul. But people value that. And that's one thing that I believe society has gotten away from is that human connection with the increase of technology. A text is fine. A text is fine, an email's worse. But a voice message or a phone call. Yes, I try to get on the phone with as many people as I can. I did have one chick tell me, she was like, I do not like to talk on the phone. That's fine, boo boo. We can text. But I would ask them, can you talk? And I know most people are like, for real? And I'm like, yeah, for real. Can you talk? And so yeah, I like to talk to everybody. Um, just because I want them to hear and understand, one, my passion, two, my belief. Um, because you can't replace those two things, and they can't get that through any other means of communication other than either face to face, which is where most of my people have come from. It's my face to face interactions with them, or a phone call. So use the phone. Do not be afraid to call people. Can you talk is a great question.
So good. I love that. Yeah, I'm the friend that texts back and says, did you mean to call me? Because I'm like so not a phone person, but I've been making myself do it. And it 100% like shortens the time from like for everything because it's just you're on the phone. So in like 15 minutes or 5 minutes, you can have like 3 days worth of a conversation if you were just texting back and forth. It's saves so much time and you really do learn a lot more about the person. So I was curious because I wanted everyone to hear like the phone. It's something I feel like we all need to prioritize, getting people on the phone more often, talking to myself here. Okay, does
You
anyone
know
else?
what?
Oh, go ahead.
People can do with a phone. This is why it takes so long. People go, oh, blah 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 blah. I don't know about that. Let me put that down. I'll come back to it. That's what people do with text messages all the time. Facebook Messenger messages like, oh, we're having a conversation, blah blah. I didn't. Oh, that's a little expensive. Let me put that down real quick, and I'll come back to it. Let me think about it. They don't tell you that's what they're saying, but that's what they're doing. Let me think about it real quick. Oh no, get
Yeah.
them on the phone. I know it's gonna be a little uncomfortable, when you tell them the price of the triplex, but then you can listen to them and tell them, I know that sounds like a lot, but blah 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 blah. Here's what it has done for me. I know that may not be in your budget, but here's how I can help you make $300 and pay for a couple months. I know that's not in your budget, but what is your health worth to you? That's a Like, I know that's like a pointed question, but that's like a legit question. Like, what is your health worth to you? Because you spending $5 on Coke every day trying to stay awake, and it's killing you when you can spend $5 a day doing this, and it can be bringing you life. So
Yeah, so good. You can help block with those objections way easier on the phone for sure. Okay, I loved all of this. Does anyone have any more questions? I know I keep asking questions, but anyone else? Speak now. Forever hold your peace.
I I have a question for Luther.
yeah, Josh.
Um, I am new to Plexus
Mm-hmm.
and products and stuff, and I'm really wanting to get more into it and be more social because I use social media all the time. But what are some tips that you can help me be better at being more personable with people with using this product and stuff? Because I feel like sometimes I come off as a business person and I want to be, because it has helped, Plexus has helped me
Mm-hmm.
in many ways. I just want to make it get to that next level where I can personal to people, where it doesn't sound like a business, but it sounds like a life-changing experience.
I think you just answered it, right? Because you probably lead more with the business, right? When you talk about it, you probably talk about the opportunity, how that's changed your life and all that. Here's the deal, man. Like, you have to drip on people, right? If you post a video of you working out, just have your slim in the background while you're working out, or you're active in the background while you're working out. Just make it a part of who you are, because it is a part of who you are. I think, like, we get into this idea of, well, I have to have my Plexus post and I have to have my life post. Aren't they the same thing? Like, isn't Plexus a massive part of your life? Like, don't you do your triplex every day? Right. So just make it a part of how you post. The other thing too is share more of your personal story. And I know, like, for dudes it's hard, right? Because we don't like to be vulnerable, right? Like, we just like, man, like, I don't, if I start talking about like how it makes me feel, then like people gonna be like, man, it's like, is he okay? But what they need to see is that you believe in what it is you're doing. My buddy who hit me up today, like, he's like, hey man, I've just seen you post a lot about these products, and I'm interested to see what, your Black Friday sale is all about. I'm dealing with these things. Do you feel like it can help? 100% it can help, man. Like, when do you want to get on the phone? And he was like, well, tomorrow works. And I'm like, call me tomorrow. And if you don't call me, I'm calling you. Right. So be yourself. But just, incorporate Plexus as much as you feel like, your demographic more than anybody else. Right. Think about who you want to target, and intentionally engage those people. And so, like, for me, the people that I'm trying to engage are males mostly, because dudes need to do a better job of taking care of themselves. We do a really good job of working and providing for our families and doing all the things. But I say it all the time. If you provide for your family and you go out and you work all the jobs, but you're unhealthy and you're not present and you die early, why does it matter what you've provided for your family? My life insurance policy can't replace my presence. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm intentionally trying to engage men and encouraging them to be a more present part of their families' lives. Um, because I see that gap in society, and that's a gap I'm really passionate about closing. Um, and so that it, like, when you see if you add me on Facebook, when you see my posts, my reels, like, it's about spending time with my family. It's about being present with my family. It's about loving my family. When I ask questions, it's about, why are we waiting to take care of ourselves? Right. I even posted what I just said. If you provide for your family, but you're not healthy or present to enjoy it, why does it matter? It doesn't, right? And so I hope that was helpful. But, like, just like you said, you're a personable guy. Be yourself. And know that you're not posting too much. You're not posting too much. unless you're posting like 20 times a day.
So that was really good. So good. Thank you, Luther, so much for just sharing all of this with us. You're on your way to Diamond. I know it. You all should have heard him on stage. Like he's just got it. They will be a jewel couple. It's so exciting. And we just really appreciate you and your tips and all your wisdom that you gave us tonight. So thank you. Thanks for hopping on, everyone. Have a
Thanks
great
for your
night.
time. Thank you, guys.
Bye.